There is a scene in the new Odyssey movie that perfectly encapsulates how modern cinema views classical myth. Odysseus has his enemy dead to rights, but right before he shoots, he intentionally plucks his bowstring, making a noise to alert his target. He wants an equal fight. He wants to be honorable. It looks stunning on an IMAX screen. It feels heroically cool. There's only one problem. The real Odysseus would never, ever do that. Adapting Homer's The Odyssey is perhaps the ultimate cinematic challenge. You aren't just adapting a story, you are adapting the foundational DNA of Western literature. The new film arrives as a massive spectacle, but beyond the technical scale lies a fascinating narrative transformation. Today, we're doing a complete breakdown of the film, exploring the crucial differences between Homer's original text and what ended up on screen, and analyzing how cinema reshapes ancient mythology for modern audiences. Let's start with the protagonist himself. Cinema naturally gravitates toward noble, chivalrous action heroes. But Homer's Odysseus is not Captain America. He is Polytropos, the man of many twists, turns, and deceitful tricks. He won the Trojan War not through fair combat, but by hiding inside a wooden horse and slaughtering his enemies in their sleep. The film completely sanitizes his dark, vengeful past by omitting key mythic events, most notably the story of Palamedes. When the Greek kings came to recruit Odysseus for Troy, he didn't want to go. He faked insanity, plowing salt into his fields. To test him, a clever commander named Palamedes threw baby Telemachus in front of the plow. Odysseus swerved to save his son, exposing his lie. Odysseus was forced to fight, but he never forgave Palamedes. Years later, during the war, Odysseus forged a traitorous letter, planted gold in Palamedes' tent, and had him executed by stoning for treason. This is the mythic Odysseus, brilliant, pragmatic, and utterly ruthless when crossed. Giving him a cinematic scene where he acts like a fair fighter completely misunderstands his psychological DNA. To be fair, the film delivers on its promise of being a true cinematic epic. The sheer scale of the production is breathtaking. Translating a decade-long journey across the Mediterranean into a cohesive experience is no small feat, yet the film's masterful editing and fluid pacing keep you completely glued to the screen. However, even the most sweeping, perfectly edited blockbuster runs into immediate limits when adapting ancient literature, especially when scripted in modern English. Some mythic moments simply get lost in translation. Take the Cyclops sequence. In Homer's original Greek text, Odysseus uses a brilliant linguistic trick. He tells Polyphemus his name is Autis, which translates to nobody, but phonetically plays on the word metas, meaning cunning. When the blinded giant screams to his brothers, "Nobody is killing me," they simply walk away thinking he's fine. In modern English cinema, trying to pull off a literal translation of that pun on screen is almost impossible without sounding goofy or confusing a mass audience. So the film drops the linguistic brilliance entirely, replacing a masterpiece of ancient wordplay with a straightforward survival horror monster fight. It's an understandable adaptation choice, but it trades intellect for raw action.
Oh, nobody has blinded me!
This same need for cinematic momentum directly impacts how the film handles time and temptation. On screen, Odysseus is driven by a non-stop, desperate sprint to get home to Penelope. Modern film structure demands high stakes and a ticking clock. In Homer's original poem, however, human flaw gets in the way. After outsmarting the witch Circe, Odysseus and his crew spend an entire year drinking wine, feasting, and living in absolute luxury on her island. He gets so comfortable that his own crew eventually has to drag him away, reminding him, "Captain, aren't we supposed to be going home?" The book gives us a complex man who succumbs to comfort and delay. The movie gives us an unstoppable hero on a mission. If you've seen the 2004 movie Troy, you probably remember the famous prophecy given to Achilles. He was offered a choice: stay home live a long, peaceful life, and be forgotten by history, or go to Troy, die young, and achieve eternal glory. Achilles chose glory. Modern cinema loves this choice. It is the ultimate sacrifice for immortal fame. But what happens after the glory? That is a reality this new film deliberately chooses to ignore. The filmmakers didn't struggle to adapt what comes next. They simply cut it, because it completely destroys the myth of the action hero. In Book 11 of Homer's original text, Odysseus actually descends into the underworld and comes face to face with the ghost of Achilles. Odysseus tries to comfort his old friend, telling him, "You were honored like a god when you were alive, and now you rule as a king among the dead." But Achilles rejects this Hollywood-style heroism completely. He delivers one of the most heartbreaking anti-war lines in all of ancient literature. He looks at Odysseus and says, "Do not speak to me soothingly of death, glorious Odysseus. I would rather be a landless peasant serving as a slave to a poor man on earth than be the undisputed king of all the dead." This is the ultimate philosophical gut punch of the Odyssey. Homer actively deconstructs his own myth. He strips away the illusion of glory to reveal the cold, empty reality of death. It is a profound realization for Odysseus. The fame they fought for at Troy was a lie. All that matters is life and making it back home. By leaving this out, the movie avoids the existential dread of the original epic, trading humanity's deepest meditation on mortality for a safer, standard cinematic journey. Before we wrap up, let's touch upon a few minor topics, like the casting of Helen with a black actress playing the role. Hollywood has been doing these kinds of casting choices a lot lately. But to be honest, if it doesn't get in the way of the film and isn't being used purely as a marketing gimmick, I don't have any problem with it. After all, look at Penelope. Anne Hathaway gives a truly flawless performance, but she doesn't resemble a Mediterranean woman in the slightest. So if we're being honest, this selective outrage feels a bit hollow. At the end of the day, if historical or cultural accuracy was truly the absolute standard, we'd have to question a lot more than just one casting choice. Ultimately, despite the ways it smooths out Odysseus's darkest, most complex edges, choices that admittedly pull the film down a bit for me, we are still looking at one of the most epic cinematic achievements of recent years. Even with those narrative compromises, the sheer scale, the relentless pacing, and the visceral atmosphere make this easily the best translation of Homer's masterpiece to the big screen so far. Homer's messy, morally gray strategist and his haunting encounters with the cost of glory have survived for 3,000 years precisely because they are timeless, and seeing them brought to life with this level of scale is something special. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to Conformist. Until next time, keep watching closely.